It started like thunder splitting the night. No warning, no mercy. In the early hours between October 9th and 10th, Russia launched yet another massive assault on Ukraine, one of the largest in recent months. The sky above Ukrainian cities turned into a battlefield as waves of drones and missiles roared across the borders, lighting up the darkness with explosions that could be seen miles away. Sirens echoed through Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Dnipro, jolting millions awake. It was chaos, again, but by now, Ukraine had learned how to fight through it. This kind of attack has become a grim routine for Ukrainians, who have spent nearly 2 years living under the constant threat of air raids. Yet this strike stood out for its sheer scale and complexity. Russia unleashed close to 500 aerial weapons in a single coordinated strike, an enormous number even by wartime standards. According to Ukraine's Air Force, 497 individual threats filled the skies that night. 465 drones and 32 missiles, each designed for a different kind of destruction. The assault came from all directions, north, east, and south, making it one of the most complex barrages Ukraine has ever faced. Missiles and drones were launched from Russia's border regions of Kursk, Milorovo, Oryol, Shakhty, and Primorsko-Akhtarsk. This wasn't random. It was a calculated attempt to stretch Ukraine's air defenses thin, forcing them to respond to attacks from multiple fronts at once. Leading the assault were 200 Iranian-made Shahed drones, infamous for their distinctive buzzing sound and their role in terrorizing civilian areas. Behind them came swarms of additional drones and a mix of missiles, 2 Kinzhal hypersonic missiles fired from Lipetsk, 14 Iskander-M ballistic missiles capable of traveling over 5,000 miles per hour, 12 Iskander-K cruise missiles, and 4 Kh-59/69 air-launched precision rockets. Each weapon brought its own challenge. Some flew low and fast, others climbed high before diving at terrifying speeds, and together they created a nightmarish puzzle for Ukraine's defenders to solve in real time. This attack wasn't just large, it was strategic. The Kremlin's forces mixed weapon types deliberately, hoping to confuse radar systems and overwhelm Ukraine's air defenses. No two missiles follow the same flight path, no two drones behave the same way, and that unpredictability makes them hard to shoot down. Russia's plan was to break through Ukraine's shield, to cause mass destruction across major cities, and to remind the world of its reach. But this time, Ukraine was ready. Their air defense network, strengthened by months of training and new Western technology, sprang into action the moment the alarm sounded. Radar operators tracked incoming waves, anti-air systems locked on, and mobile defense teams moved quickly to intercept. What could have been catastrophic instead became a powerful display of resilience, a sign that Ukraine's ability to defend itself has grown sharper and more coordinated than ever before. Russia's attack wasn't just about destruction, it was also about discovery. Many believe the Kremlin hoped to gather valuable intelligence on Ukraine's air defense network, studying how and where it responded under pressure. Every radar ping, every missile intercept, could reveal clues about weak spots, information that might shape future strikes in the days or weeks ahead. And to be fair, on paper, Moscow had reason to feel confident. Coordinated drone and missile assaults like this are brutally hard to stop. Most countries, even the ones with enormous defense budgets and top-tier militaries, would struggle against such a barrage. The truth is, even global powers are still learning how to fight in this new era of drone warfare. These small, fast, and unpredictable machines have changed the rules of the game, and few nations have mastered how to defend against them. A recent incident in Poland showed just how complicated this has become. When Russian drones briefly entered Polish airspace, the Polish Air Force, backed by NATO allies, scrambled fighter jets to take them down. But despite their combined strength, they managed to shoot down only 4 drones out of an estimated 20. If that small swarm caused such chaos, imagine facing hundreds of drones and missiles at once. Even the best prepared nations would find that nearly impossible to handle. But Ukraine isn't most nations. After nearly 2 years of relentless bombardment, it's become the world's most battle-tested country in modern air defense. Night after night, Ukrainian forces have been forced to adapt, innovate, and survive. Just last month, on September 7th, they endured the largest Russian strike of the entire war. More than 800 Shahed drones and 13 ballistic and cruise missiles launched toward Kyiv and several other cities. And that wasn't a one-time event. Earlier this month, another wave of over 500 drones and 50 missiles swept across multiple regions, from Lviv and Ivano-Frankivsk in the west to Kharkiv, Kherson, and Odessa, farther east and south. This has become the new rhythm of the war, an exhausting cycle of attacks, countermeasures, and adaptation. Every week brings new reports of record-breaking Russian offensives. Every month, thousands of drones and hundreds of missiles cross into Ukrainian airspace. It's a relentless pattern that shows no sign of slowing down. When October 9th rolled around, the Kremlin once again gave the order for a massive strike, one it likely believed would devastate Ukraine. Russian commanders probably expected to spend the night waiting for triumphant reports to roll in. Cities in flames, power grids crippled, and the tragic toll of yet more Ukrainian civilians caught in the chaos. But things didn't go as planned, not even close. By now, Ukraine isn't just experienced in surviving these nightmarish air raids, it's become one of the most skilled nations in the world at stopping them. What used to overwhelm its defenses 2 years ago no longer does. Layer by layer, Ukraine has built one of the most sophisticated air defense networks on the planet, combining quick-thinking operators, advanced radar, and Western-supplied systems that rival any military in Europe. So, when hundreds of missiles and drones filled the skies that night, Ukraine didn't freeze. It fought back hard. By 10 a.m. the next morning, October 10th, the results were astonishing. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, almost every single aerial threat had been neutralized. Out of 497 incoming weapons, Ukraine's defenders managed to destroy or disable 420 of them. That included 405 enemy drones, mostly Shahed and Geran types, along with multiple high-speed missiles. 1 Kinjal ballistic missile, 4 Iskander-Ms, 9 Iskander-K cruise missiles, and a Kh-59/69 guided air-launched missile. Those figures were confirmed in an official statement from Ukraine's Air Force Command, which detailed how the attack was repelled through a coordinated mix of aviation units, anti-aircraft missile troops, mobile fire teams, electronic warfare systems, and unmanned defense squads. Each branch played a part, and together they created a wall of defense that Russia simply couldn't break through. Even more humiliating for Moscow, 4 of Russia's own missiles reportedly went off course before ever reaching their targets, crashing into empty areas. And while some damage did occur, 13 missiles and around 60 drones managed to hit 19 locations. Ukraine's success rate was staggering. Roughly 85% of Russia's aerial weapons were intercepted or rendered useless. That kind of performance doesn't happen by luck. It's the result of relentless adaptation, innovative tactics, and steady support from allies across NATO and the wider Western world. Ukraine has spent years integrating different defense systems into a single multi-layered shield, one capable of handling everything from slow-flying drones to hypersonic missiles. Perhaps the most jaw-dropping achievement of all was the interception of the Kinjal. This missile is one of the fastest and most advanced in existence, able to fly at Mach 10, over 7,600 miles per hour. Russia once bragged that it was unstoppable, but Ukraine proved otherwise. Using sophisticated Western systems like the US-made Patriot and German-supplied SAMT batteries, Ukrainian forces did what many experts once said was impossible. They shot it down. Every time Ukraine pulls off a defense like this, it chips away at Russia's confidence and exposes the cracks in the Kremlin's war strategy. Each successful interception sends a clear message. The days when Moscow could rely on shock and awe are over. What was once meant to break Ukraine's spirit now only proves how far the country has come, stronger, smarter, and more united than ever before. Still, victories like this don't come without heartbreak. Even with Ukraine's extraordinary interception rate, a handful of missiles and drones managed to slip through the defenses, striking parts of the country and leaving destruction in their wake. Energy facilities, power lines, and neighborhoods took hits, once again forcing crews to work around the clock to restore what was lost. President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the nation in a post on X, giving an honest account of the attack's impact. At many critical infrastructure sites, recovery efforts continue following Russia's strike on the energy sector, he wrote. It was a cynical and calculated attack with more than 450 drones and over 30 missiles targeting everything that sustains normal life. Everything the Russians want to deprive us of. His words carried both grief and defiance. Zelensky confirmed that more than 20 people had been injured across the country, all receiving medical care. But the most painful detail was the death of a child in Zaporizhia, a loss that struck deep at the nation's heart. "My sincere condolences to the family and loved ones," he said. That single tragedy served as a brutal reminder of what this war still is at its core: human. Even when Ukraine's defenses perform almost flawlessly, even when technology and courage combine to stop most of the devastation, the few weapons that get through still have the power to shatter lives. And for Ukraine, that makes every successful interception not just a tactical victory, but a fight for survival itself. Ukraine's resilience has become its most powerful weapon, and it's turning the tide of this war. Every time a drone is shot down or a missile is intercepted midair, it's more than just a military win. It's a psychological blow to the Kremlin and a surge of pride for Ukrainians watching their defenders hold the line. What began as a desperate fight for survival has evolved into a masterclass in adaptation, innovation, and grit. And that transformation hasn't happened in isolation. Behind Ukraine's success lies an international backbone of support. Cutting-edge defense systems from the United States, Germany, France, and the UK, radar and electronic warfare tech from across Europe, and a steady flow of intelligence sharing from NATO allies. The once overwhelmed Ukrainian air network has become a layered, synchronized shield that rivals the most advanced in the world. Western-supplied Patriots, IRIS-Ts, and NASAMs now work hand-in-hand with Ukraine's homegrown systems and mobile fire units, forming a defense web so tight that even Russia's so-called unstoppable hypersonic missiles are being stopped cold. But it's not just about hardware, it's about people. Ukrainian engineers who once built consumer drones now modify them for the front lines. Soldiers learn in real time how to counter new threats, adjusting tactics on the fly. Each failed Russian strike teaches Ukraine something new, while each successful defense drains Moscow's morale and resources. The Kremlin's once prized arsenal is slowly losing its edge, while Ukraine's defenders are getting sharper by the day. Russia wanted to terrify Ukraine into submission. Instead, it's creating an army that can predict, adapt, and strike back faster than anyone thought possible. The world is watching a nation transform under fire, turning fear into focus, loss into learning, and defense into defiance.
If you've made it this far into the video, it means you're enjoying what we do here at Euro Bulletin. Take a second to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more updates and insights from Europe and its partners. Let's dive in more into the subject.
Around the world, Ukraine's defense on that October night didn't just make headlines, it made history. The sheer precision and success of its response stunned military analysts and government officials alike. For months, experts had warned that Russia's relentless aerial campaigns could wear Ukraine down. Instead, Ukraine flipped the script, proving that a smaller nation with determination, discipline, and support can stand toe-to-toe with one of the world's biggest militaries and win. Nowhere was the reaction stronger than in Washington. The United States, long Ukraine's most crucial ally, saw the strike as undeniable proof that its aid was working. American-made systems, Patriot batteries, NASAMS, interceptors, radar technology, and precision-guided ammunition had played a pivotal role in neutralizing some of Russia's most advanced missiles. Pentagon officials confirmed that the interception of the hypersonic Kinzhal was carried out using U.S.-supplied Patriots, a feat that was once thought to be nearly impossible. For the U.S., it wasn't just a validation of technology, it was a validation of strategy. Behind the scenes, American intelligence agencies have also been deeply involved, providing Ukraine with satellite imagery, early warning data, and targeting information to anticipate Russian movements before they happen. That quiet cooperation between U.S. and Ukrainian command centers has become one of the hidden reasons Ukraine can now repel attacks of such magnitude. In a war fought as much with data as with firepower, that partnership has been game-changing. Meanwhile, U.S. officials and lawmakers publicly doubled down on their message. Support for Ukraine is not charity. It's an investment in the stability of the free world. Each intercepted missile and destroyed drone underscores that message. It's proof that democratic nations, when united, can outthink and outlast an aggressor armed with intimidation and brute force. And for Russia, every failed strike is a reminder that time isn't on its side. Its stockpiles are shrinking, sanctions are biting, and morale within its forces is slipping. Ukraine, bolstered by U.S. aid and the unwavering support of its allies, isn't just surviving anymore. It's setting a new standard for modern warfare. What's unfolding now goes far beyond Ukraine's borders. It's reshaping the global balance of power in real time. The war that Moscow once expected to last weeks has turned into a defining struggle between old-world aggression and 21st-century resilience. Every drone Ukraine shoots down, every missile it intercepts, sends ripples across the world, forcing militaries and policymakers to rethink what strength really means in modern warfare. For decades, Russia sold itself as a near-invincible military giant. But the war in Ukraine has shattered that image. Its so-called unstoppable weapons are being stopped. Its strategies, once feared, are now being studied for their failures. Countries that once hesitated to challenge Moscow now see its limits, and they're taking notes. Nations across Europe are accelerating their defense cooperation, investing in air shields modeled after Ukraine's success, and tightening coordination with NATO in ways not seen since the Cold War. At the same time, the United States has emerged as the anchor of this new security order. Washington's leadership, backed by billions in military aid, technology transfers, and diplomatic pressure, has reminded the world that American influence still carries real weight. But this isn't just about firepower, it's about credibility. The U.S. has proven that when it commits to defending democracy, its reach extends far beyond its borders. Meanwhile, other global players are watching closely. China is recalculating its military ambitions, noting how Western unity can transform a regional conflict into a worldwide stand against authoritarian power. Smaller nations from the Baltics to the Pacific are drawing lessons from Ukraine's playbook. How agility, alliances, and innovation can balance even the most uneven odds. In many ways, Ukraine has become the testing ground for the future of warfare, and for the resilience of the democratic world itself. What's happening now isn't just a regional fight, it's a preview of the new global order taking shape, one where unity, adaptability, and shared intelligence can outmatch brute strength. As the dust settles over Ukraine's battered cities and the echoes of sirens fade into the distance, one can't help but wonder, where does this all lead? Each night seems to bring another storm of missiles and drones, yet each morning reveals a nation that still stands, still fights, and somehow grows stronger. But how long can Ukraine continue to hold out against such relentless pressure? How long can its people endure the sleepless nights, the blackouts, and the ever-present shadow of danger overhead? And as the world watches, are we witnessing the rise of a new kind of warfare, one where speed, data, and resilience matter more than sheer numbers and brute force? The United States' involvement has already reshaped the battlefield, its advanced defense systems and intelligence support proving decisive in saving lives and stopping what once seemed unstoppable. But does this growing reliance on American technology bring Ukraine closer to safety, or deeper into a geopolitical tug-of-war that could one day pull the world into an even greater confrontation? How far will Washington go to keep supporting Kyiv, and how long will Western unity hold when the costs continue to rise? Russia, too, faces its own reckoning. How long can Moscow afford to keep firing off waves of missiles only to see most of them shot down? How long before the cracks begin to show? Not just in its arsenal, but in its leadership, its economy, and its people's faith in a war that was supposed to be quick and decisive? And when that breaking point comes, what will it mean for the rest of the world, for the balance of power, for Europe's stability, for the fragile peace that hangs over our global future? Ukraine's struggle is no longer just about territory, it's about time, endurance, and the will to outlast an enemy that refuses to stop. But what happens when endurance itself becomes the battlefield? Can innovation, unity, and spirit continue to defy a superpower built on intimidation and firepower? Or will the endless cycle of attack and defense eventually consume even the strongest defenders? These are the questions no one can yet answer, but they're the ones shaping the future right now. So as we keep watching this story unfold, ask yourself, what does victory look like in a war that's already changed the world? And when the dust finally clears, what kind of world will be left behind? If you've been following this journey with us, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and the next chapter may change everything we thought we knew.